Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Alright. It's Normal with DC Camp back for another video. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Shem Crawford Dash. And of course, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who deserve double honors. Salutations also go out to the Akim out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth across the four corners of the earth. Alright, trying to wake up the remaining, hopefully elect. Alright. Wow. Hey, this video once again is going to highlight the stupidity of these women, and this is of course a so-called black woman. And it's like on this side, hey, if you got a decent one that's working with you, hey, fine. But what are the odds of that? Alright, because hey, she's totally turned after Satan. Alright. In this particular case, Satan being a human adversary, alright, who is an emissary of the spiritual demon Satan. Alright. An adulteress. Oh man. You'll see. Damn. Ooh. Let's go ahead and roll this. God. Did you hear that? So here he is. Here she is. I'm sorry. This man who she's currently with. So you understand how fucked up this is. And I gotta, it baffles me why he would share an account. Anyway, regardless of that. She's sending $300 a week to her ex who is locked up in prison. Alright. $1,200 a month. Someone she's no longer with physically. But as you can see, mentally, she's still with this dude. She appears to be using the guy that she's with now. Alright. This is that's some cold shit, man. That's some cold shit. But that's these women. And we got a scripture for that. That's these. She's so cavalier about it. You know, and it's like, hey, like I said, we got a scripture for that. So let's go ahead. Oh, man. In fact, let's get this. Proverbs 30 and 20. It says, this is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wickedness. You got to understand, certain generations, and as they've gone along, let's just use, I hate to use that time mark or that time period, because that's what, you know, let's just say World War II, they call that the so-called greatest generation. And, you know, not for us, of course. But, no, we'll just use that as an example. Every generation since then, and you got the 50s, that era there that started, you know, the baby boomers and all that, and who really fucked things up, if you really want to know, even though they blame everybody else. But you got to understand that time period was a so-called height, all right, of how people perceived America as, oh man, we got to go there, you know. That's that shining city on the hill. That was the golden age, so to speak. You know, coming out of World War II, and then from the 60s on. And of course, everything really evolved, especially here in America, revolved around who? Jake. Think of it, the so-called civil rights, all right, era, and you got the hippie movement and all that in the 60s. And things from that point, especially at the end of the 60s, just kept getting progressively worse. And best you believe this is all engineered, but this is also prophecy. All right, so they really had no control over it. All right, and of course I say centered around us because that goes into Zechariah 12th chapter. Let's get that real quick. All right, because again they can't help themselves because this is the way the Most High wanted. This is Zechariah 12th chapter, and let's see, the heading is, the Lord will give salvation. Salvation to who? Salvation to Israel. I'll start the top points in 2 and 3. It says, the burden of the word of the Most High Yahweh, the power of Israel, saith the Most High, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. 2, behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And that's coming. 3, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces. Is that not the case? Conversations always about Jake, how to deal with Jake. What steps are we talking about? In any case, all these so-called security measures, they supposedly shutting down all these stores, Walmart, Target, even Macy's, all that. Well, it's those Negroes, they're stealing. And to some extent, yeah, that's true. It's a bigger picture than what they're, but of course they love controlling the narrative. And we know that, a lot of this is being done because of what's coming down the pike here very shortly. Because when this dollar crashes, all right, and again, this is being done on purpose. All right, you got to, like I said, it's a bigger picture. You got all these things, the food processor stations that just mysteriously combusted, Firebird. You got all these livestock being culled or killed. Inflation, which is going to shortly turn into hyperinflation. All these people being laid off. All this, and the money, everything's being going to be digitized. All right, so everyone's being herded if you're paying attention. All right, because there's a lot of distractions out here. But you got to understand, my reason for bringing this up is the woman being the weaker vessel, and she is. All right, she's going to follow along with Esau, the so-called white man's, the nation of Edom, the so-called white man's script, as she's always done. Remember, Willie Lynch, whether you believe it or not, all right, whether you believe the letter or not, you can't question the results of what's happening, as what that speech says. And that's exactly what, So you will never enjoy, my break point bring this up, you are never going to enjoy the woman like you should on this side. You always got to keep that one eye or both open. All right. The so-called black woman was never, Israelite woman, period, but especially that Judite one, a so-called black woman. Anyway, verse 3. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it should be cut to pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. Psalms 83rd chapter. All right. All of this is connected. All of this is connected. Jake, a lot of our people, the only way to solve the issue is through death. And of course, that's scriptural too. That's the 2/3. That's the next chapter over here. Zechariah 13 and 8. All right. That 2/3 got to go. They're beyond redemption. They're beyond saving. Let's get that real quick since I got it. It says idolatry cut off, the shepherd struck. All right. This is Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Most High Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. This is a process. This is a weeding out process. But like the example on the story that was told with the silversmith, and the woman was asking the silversmith, well, as far as refining, how do you know when the process is done? And the silversmith said, when I can see my image in it. All right. It's that clear. I want to see. And this is what we hope, all right, that we're to the point where we're following as an example Yahweh Shai, to the point, I mean, scriptures on that too, to where we're to aspire to be like him. All right. That's, hey, can't get no plainer than that. But these women, he did the right thing, as you're going to see here. Hold on. It's the angry man. But again, I use these things as teaching tools. I'm not trying to profit, so I have to bring up this, hey, you got to do it because, hey, YouTube is petty. I hate to interrupt. Actually, I'm almost through. Disclaimer. Oh, boy. And this, this is understandable. I mean, I'm using somebody else's work. It's not, this is what I should do beforehand. Let's see. Limitations, fair use. I keep forgetting each one. Let's see. Here it is. Copyright disclaimer, as per section. No, that's not it. I keep getting the wrong one, so I can bear with me. All right. Here it is. Good, I have to remember that. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And get that mug out the way. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, which this is, news reporting, which is, again, this is, scholarship and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. All right, because I do not intend to profit off of this. This is someone else's. All right, this is someone else's work. Let's get some of the comments here. Actually, let's go ahead and finish it up. She worried more about the motherfucker that's locked up, all right, than the motherfucker that's currently supporting her. All right, she said, what, 15 years she knew this motherfucker? Man, these women, And she swears. She's got this air of moral superiority that she's on some kind of high ground. And hey, let's get some comments. Wolf Larson said, walk her ass out the door. Let her support him and her own damn self. Adam Brew says, this lady said just temporarily in prison, like she got high hopes of him getting out and them reunifying. She ain't helping nobody. You was. And they're right. It was his money. Notice she wasn't looking him in the eye, because she dead wrong. That's another good point. Yes, you ain't nothing to me no more. No truer words ever spoken. The moment she said he was in prison, she just destroyed any high ground she pretended to be. She had. Oh, man. This is out of order. Stealing $1,200 a month and giving it to another man in prison? You're right to get rid of her. He's probably still hitting it. That was my point. That's why I read Proverbs 30 and 20. All right. As a matter of fact, you ain't nothing at all to me no more. Well said. Get rid of her ass ASAP and try to get that money back or stop payment. She can get out and start sending him $300 of her own money. I mean, the nerve. Immediate grounds for termination. The entitlement is embarrassing. And that's another good point made, because these women just think hey, they're entitled. What they got between their legs, and they're really not giving you anything. The modern woman, and this has been for a while now, all right, what are they giving in return except box? A lot of them can't even boil water, you know. So what are you getting out of it? You're not getting a helpmeet, as the scriptures say. That's for damn sure. It's another burden on you. As with this case here, $1,200 a month to a motherfucker that had her before you. You know, that's why Yahushua was talking about that adulterous generation. This is what, we don't have the luxury, and it's sad to say it's a luxury, but you got to look at the world you're in now, of having a virgin. See, the Most High in His infinite wisdom, and then here comes this little troll, the so-called white man that thinks he's, how dare he thinks he's on some kind of level, especially when it comes to Most High. But you know what? He's being allowed to do that. You know, we're in 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter now. He's being revealed. People are trying to do everything they can to get away from this motherfucker because they see him for what he really is. He's indeed being revealed as the wicked, as the problem child of the earth. All right, and this is leading up to Revelation 17th chapter. Everybody's going to turn on his mother, Obadiah. All right. In fact, let's get that. These things were prophesied ages ago. Let's go to Obadiah because, you know, it's only one chapter, but it speaks volumes. I think it's 8. Let's see. Wait a minute. No. Yeah, I got to go one up. Yeah, 7. I'm sorry. All the men, let's start at 6. How are the things of Esau? That's the nation of Edom. Esau is their progenitor. He's the brother of Jacob. All right. The nation itself is the nation of Edom. All right. That's Genesis 36th chapter. I suggest you read it. Says verse 8 there, it says Esau is Edom. So that's his descendants. It's just not talking about one person. It's talking about his descendants, a people. All right. In Malachi 1st chapter, calls them the wicked. That's verse 4. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy, these were your allies, have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound unto thee. There is not understanding in them. All right. Shall I not in that day, said the Most High Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? Read Isaiah 47th chapter. And understanding out of the mount of Esau. All these things he used to, all right, get away with, he's again being revealed. Those things, those tricks don't work anymore. All right. And verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. All right. And that's what's going to happen to him. He knows that. You know, that's why he know, you know, we're in Revelation also 12th chapter. You know, we get beginning in that, you know, what he's been doing in verse 10. All right. With having Jake commit all these sins, and then he going, you know, these are your people. Look at them. Because it all goes back to Genesis 25th chapter, him trying to get that birthright back. And it's not going to happen. All right. So that whole Revelation 12th chapter, that's a good chapter to read, understanding that the woman it's talking about is the nation of Israel. And the devil there is talking about the so-called white man. All right. So, verse 12, it tells you he knoweth he hath but a short time. And that's what we're in now. He's trying to speed things up to establish his new world order. All right. And for those of you who still believe it's a conspiracy theory, hey, you know what? You're going to find out very shortly here that ain't the case, but we tried to warn you. Let's finish it up. It's just like a couple of seconds left. Hold on. There you go. You ain't nothing to me at all no more. Fuck you, get, you know, and deservedly and rightly so. how long had it been going on? I assume it's just maybe a month. He said $300 a week. But that brings up my question from the beginning. Why would you share an account with someone? Hey, you know, most men nowadays, that's why it's expression about, you know, a big booty and a smile getting you in trouble. All right, in more ways than one. All right. This world as it is set up to benefit these whorish ass women, you know, and people are just tired. All right, people are just tired. Hey, so I didn't intend to spend this long on this, but hey, got to rolling in spirit. Hey, I hope whoever views this is edified, because that's just some foul shit. All right, and this, they keep talking about men fucking, you know, but there's more women that are just, you know, they'll just spoil rotten because they're allowed to get away with so much shit, especially in America. Hey, so with that, I hope once again whoever views this is edified. Once again, great millstone, that's what we do. All right, filter everything through the scriptures. All right, in doing so, you're more apt to find out, hey, time is short. All right, and you'll find out also who the real enemy is and who you are. All right, so with that, until next video, hey, shalom.